Hey guys, it's Franklin Walker. Today is October the 11th. Silver currently has just closed out at $17.53. Let's see what we got in the mail today. A little over a week ago, the U.S. posted the worst jobs growth numbers. Terrible job growth numbers, and yet you see, for some reason, the stock market rising. We've also just experienced a recent $2 drop in the price of silver, which is unheard of without a reason. I know we had Deutsche Bank report that it was in dire financial straits, in need of a bailout, and of course, they're too big to fail, right? But they're in need of a bailout. And yet, silver goes and drops $2 an ounce. There's no real indicators, no big swing, no real reason behind it. It just drops. And it screams of price manipulation. Alright, we got a nice, brilliant, uncirculated Silver Eagle. I just picked that up extra to get the shipping. And we got a couple Franklins. Looks like a 1957 and a 1962. See what we got here. So of course, whenever I see something that doesn't belong, it's time to pick up some coins. Alright, looks like we got 6 1964 Kennedys. They seem in okay condition. Not the best. They're just kind of bulk. Got a couple Walking Liberties. Still see a little bit of the stars on there. But we know that there's great reasons for the world banks to be suppressing the price of silver. There's great reasons they're involved when all the economic indicators are pointing to the fact that we are in dire straits. They're reporting some of the greatest debt, and not just in the United States, but worldwide, some of the greatest debt among world banks. Some of the greatest amounts of borrowing, quantitative easing, all the economic recovery that they're discussing is all fake. It's simulated. And so they have a great reason to fear the value of metals. They're greatly undervalued. Gold is greatly undervalued. Silver is greatly undervalued. It's used in production all throughout China, in the medical field, space industry, and there's shortages, especially with the price riding around where it is. It just recently shot up a little bit. It was down around $14, but it shot up and went all the way up to $19.79. So it went above 20, but it was resting there. And then we see out of nowhere a drop, a $2 drop, with no news, no big economic news, no big change, no reason attached to it, just a giant move. Do you know how much silver has to change hands? How many stocks have to be released? So much of the metals pricing is fixed on paper stocks, on numbers in a computer, not on physical supply or physical demand. Most of the gold that is reported, most of the silver that's reported, most of the people who think they have a wealth of physical metals, folks, you need to get them in your hands. Numbers are not silver. Numbers are not gold. You need to get them into your hands and get them separated from these banks that are declaring bankruptcy. We see that J.P. Morgan Chase, one of the largest banks in the world, declaring bankruptcy and getting denied by the United States government, along with 4 other banks. It was about a month and a half ago, J.P. Morgan Chase stopped allowing people in Manhattan to be able to remove money from their accounts. They shut down their ATMs. A bank that large, suffering from economic woes, recently, after it purchased 50 million ounces of silver. How can you purchase 50 million ounces of silver, then declare bankruptcy? Because they know what happens whenever a bank like J.P. Morgan Chase goes and files for bankruptcy, is that the price of silver goes up. But I think they're planning for more. They're planning for a move, a major move. And so what the smart money does in these situations is you need to take this advantage, this little price dip, as your moment for a deal, for a sale, to get in there. I would suggest if it goes down further, buy more. Because it's guaranteed to go up. It's guaranteed it will go up. There is no recovery. There is no economic recovery. There is only printing more money in the form of stimulus in order to get the economy going. And we see that the jobs reports are coming out. There's no jobs. We see even Walmart's closing around the United States. Walmart's closing. McDonald's posting losses. All of the stocks are invested into what? Tech companies? No real actual brick and mortar? Selling an idea? Manufacturing a machine? Technology, Facebook, Google, these are the largest companies active in the United States. And what are they even producing? The American economy, the American worker is not producing anymore. The jobs are dwindling. The jobs report is frightening. It's scary. The welfare numbers, the unemployment is increasing. Who's paying for those funds? Social Security's gone. It was spent on the implementation of a new federalized healthcare system. The money's gone. People are retiring. The people that are paying in, Social Security was always the people that are working, paying in more. The people that are working, paying in more to pay for the people that are retiring. And they keep everything off the top. And so, if the generation that's retiring has a larger population during the baby booms, and they had higher incomes, they were making more money per household, the unemployment rate was lower, and there's a higher volume, how can less people making less money be able to continue to pay for their retirement? They're making more, they have more in retirement than we're paying in. It's bankrupt. Sooner or later the chickens are going to come home to roost. Sooner or later it's going to be known. And this is why they tell you the economy is doing great, the economy is doing fine, there's this outstanding recovery. We stand before the greatest recovery. We stand before a renewed economy. And the simple fact is, it's not being passed on. Who's going to pay for the food stamps? Who's going to pay for the welfare? The money's gone. Credit? Print more money with a promise to pay it back? The inevitable consequences is that the US dollar goes into hyperinflation or worse. I mean, we've seen several countries try to stop selling oil in the dollar, including between Russia and China. What happens if the world rejects it? It's not tied to anything, they're just devaluing it. Things could change in a moment of time. No, you need to get your metals into your hands. Take control of your wealth. Hold something separated from their control. They have the power to print more money or to decrease the money supply, to change the interest rates, to cause boom and bust cycles. So you need to be aware. And don't believe the lie. Don't believe the lie. And don't believe when they lie on the silver pricing, the metals pricing. When you see fluctuations like that with no apparent cause, do you think 1 million people just decided out of nowhere that, you know what, my money's been in this metal, I put more in because it was going up, and all of a sudden I'm just all going to sell? We're all going to sell? There's a reason for the suppression of the price. Perhaps so they can get in and buy more. Maybe they thought we could push this higher. We need to acquire more. All I know is that there is an inevitable result in the printing of money that is not backed by anything. There's an inevitable result in a fiat currency not backed by anything. And the inevitable result is the devaluation of the currency. This is unchangeable. No matter as the dollar fluctuates or anything, when they were in Russia and they were experiencing the currency crisis about 7-8 months ago, the people were rushing out of their homes to go buy pieces of lumber, TVs, electronics, high-valued things, anything they could to get their money out of their currency, because that's what the dollar is. It's a unit of exchange. It's an idea. Seeing it's not tied to the gold standard, it's no longer actual money, it's an idea. It's a unit of trade that is used. This is why the values change against one another throughout the day, every day. This is unchangeable. Everything changes around it. And you need to get your physical silver into your hands. Because the day may come when those zeros on the screen, you may find out that that's all they ever were. And it might be too late. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me.